Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name's FM19, and this is the introductory episode to my brand new FM19 series, Ritornu a Gloria, with SC Bastia. Welcome to Corsica. It's an island off the south coast of France. How did we get here? Well, that's a little bit of a roundabout story. My first experience with Football Manager was with FM19, and after bumping around on that for a little bit, I think I did what everybody did and coached at Sterling for a while. And then a couple of other leagues, I went looking for a team to play and came across the story of Bosman, of the Bosman trade, and his club was USL Dunkirk. And being a historian, Dunkirk has quite a place in my heart with everything that went on there. And at the time, their team was in the Championnat National, which is the third tier of the French football pyramid. And I took them over, and 20 years later, in-game, I had taken them to the top of Ligue 1, won multiple Ligue 1 trophies, won multiple Champions League trophies, retired after 20 seasons there. You can find that story on the SI community web pages, and it was fun. I don't know why, but the French football leagues have an appeal to me. I can't explain it. I'm a huge Crystal Palace fan. Not a knowledgeable Crystal Palace fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm a huge Crystal Palace fan. But French football still has an appeal to me. And one of the things I noticed between FM17 and FM18 was that SC Bastia had dropped. They'd been relegated. And not only had they been relegated, as you can see over here on the far right, they'd been relegated 4 divisions in one offseason. And there's a story behind that. At the end of the Ligue 1 season, I'm going to put that standing up here now. The Ligue 1 season is 38 weeks long. At the end of week 37, Bastia stood in the relegation zone. And they needed some help to stay up, which in all likelihood they were going to get, but they were playing Lyon in the last game of the season. Now, Bastia is known for a couple of things, one of which is the Bastia Ultras, and it's not necessarily a good thing. Corsica has a very nationalist streak to it, and a lot of the Bastia Ultras are also Corsican nationalists, and they've been in trouble in the past with how they've acted and things they've said at other games. This time against Lyon, they had not one, but 2 pitch invasions. The first occurred before the start of the game. The game was actually delayed about an hour. The second occurred just before the half of the game. The Lyon's players went into the locker room, didn't come out, and eventually the French Football Association declared the game a draw. And that would have saved Bastia. If I'm doing my math correctly, there's a good possibility I'm not. After a couple of appeals, though, they awarded the win to Lyon. And although Bastia was officially given the point, a couple other things happened, and they ended up getting relegated. Well, one of the things that happens when a team is relegated, the French Football Association goes in and takes a look at their finances and everything. So Bastia was initially relegated to Ligue 2. The French Football Association came in and found out that the club was 20 million euros in debt. Some of it was due to financial mismanagement. Bastia had always been a team playing it close to the edge. They had to sell off a lot of their good players earlier on in the 2000s to stay afloat. This was compounded, their current situation was compounded by some gambling problems one of the club directors had. There were some other issues going on as well. With the agreement of the French Football Federation, they willingly relegated themselves down to the third league and became a semi-professional team. They tried securing new funding. They tried securing a new ownership group, and that didn't work. As a result, they had a B team in the 5th tier of the French Football League. And as a result, they essentially disbanded their B team, took their first team, and put that in the 5th division of French football. Essentially, they went from being a pro team to an amateur team. in the space of about 8 weeks. They got a new ownership group in, which has caused some issues in and of itself, which I'll go into here in a minute. That's all on the financial side, though. And I thought it was an interesting story. Here you have a club that has had some success. They were pretty successful in the 70s. They made it all the way to the UEFA final. They lost, but they made it there. They'd been kind of ping-ponging up and down between League 1 and League 2, but they were scrappy. They were always in the thick of things. They may not have had the best record at the end of the season, but they never gave up. And frankly, to me, there is some appeal in taking a team that's fallen so far, so fast, and getting them back up to the top. Especially when it means getting them back up to the top, means going up against your Marseilles, going against your Monacos, and going against your PSGs, who apparently spend money like there's no tomorrow. So, this is definitely going to be a challenge. And we're going to look at a couple of those challenges right now. The first, as I mentioned, is financial. The club has a decent overall balance at the moment, £1.23 million. And actually, I need to go in and change this to euros. Let me do that real quick, and I will be right back. So the club has an overall balance of 1.3 million euros. There's some underlying issues with that. The biggest of which, they took out a state loan for £16.75 million as part of the restructuring deal to go back into what's now the 5th division of French football. They've got 12 million of that left. That's 200,000 euros a month in repayments. And the club just does not have the income to cover that. At least, I don't think they do. There's some math I'm going to have to run. I'm going to show that to you in the next episode. I don't think that's going to happen. Another thing that's going on, and this is the biggest kick in the pants at the moment, we have no transfer budget. We get 5% of transfer revenue if we do make a transfer. Our current payroll is 18,820 euros a week. We're currently spending 18,592 euros a week. We've got a minimal scouting budget, and frankly, we're not going to be doing any scouting this first season. I'm not going to hire any scouts other than the chief scout, unless I can get a good scout in for cheap, and that's not going to happen. But why is the payroll so high? This is why. Our best player is making £2,300 a week. And I've got a few other players, 800, 700, 600. It's going to be tough. And the kicker is, as this is a brand new save, these players are considered newly signed. And I actually believe they are, quote unquote, newly signed because, as I understand it, the club was an amateur team and then they got their semi-professional status back, so they've all signed new contracts. Granted, they're all a year long. As you can see, a lot of the first teamers and reserve teamers, their contracts expire in June of next year. As a result, I can't really trade any of these guys away. I can't let them go on freeze either, because in order to let them go on a free, I have to pay them the balance remaining on their contract. And as these are all new contracts, the board won't let me do that. So, this is essentially the team we're stuck with until the January transfer window. I can bring in a couple players on freeze. I may be able to trade some players out. And I'm hoping I can loan some players out and get a lot of their salary taken care of. But that is just, it's going to be difficult. The one positive is we have a pretty good squad. They're a bit on the older side. A lot of our key players are on what I would consider the wrong side of 30, which for me is 32. And speaking as a 46-year-old, that's really kind of frustrating. But we've got some good players. As of right now, we're in the French National 3 League. That is actually a division that is divided up into further regions. So we are part of the Mediterranean region. And I'm sorry, I'm horrible with French pronunciations. I could do the old allo thing with the English with the very bad French accent on it, but I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm reasonably sure I'm going to have other opportunities to embarrass myself. It's a 14-team league. There's 26 matches. Top team wins promotion to the National 2. The bottom 3 teams are relegated. And as you can see, there's absolutely no prize money whatsoever. Coaching-wise, this is me, Anton Corso, which is actually a pretty common Corsican name, or at least a Corsican surname as I understand it. Recently hired. I went a level higher in his coaching because I wanted to give myself at least a little bit of a leg up. As you can see, not an attacking or defending coach by any stretch of imagination. I found, at least early on, I can always find good assistants who have those skills. It's hard to find a good assistant at this level with good tactical, technical, and mental skills. Also, good determination, decent adaptability, decent level of discipline, pretty good motivating. Everything else is way below average. Where the heck did that go? 975 pounds a week, a professional player on the regional level, and I have a Continental C license, which is good enough for now. As we progress, should we progress, I will definitely try to increase that. The club itself is predicted to finish second. I think we can definitely finish first. We do have the team to do it. We've got 2,500 season ticket holders. The good thing in our favor, at least for the moment, I believe, is our stadium. Even though it was built in 1932, Stade Montezani has a 17,280 seat capacity. And I think as we improve, we will have no problems filling that up. The club owner is enjoying life at the club. We've got average youth facilities, a regional reputation, average training facilities. Our finances are insecure, but that's because of the loan we're paying back. And we're not going to bring in enough money this season. We're going to end up in the red unless we make a really good run in either one of the cups, which I don't see happening. AJ Ajaccio, which I'm reasonably sure I'm pronouncing wrong, is the other professional French team on the island. They are our fierce rivals. We don't have any derbies, though, which I find interesting. And as you can see here in the center, are 230 pounds available payroll. And, you know, we don't have a general manager. We don't have a head of youth development. Don't have a reserve head coach. I'm an under 19 head coach. I've got an assistant coach, and that is pretty much it. I don't have a head physio. I've got a physio. I've got a chief scout. They're advising me to get 2 more scouts, but this first season, we are going to be living hand to mouth. It's going to be tough. I think if we do get promoted, we'll be doing well. The question is, what sort of finances are we going to be in when that happens? We need to get up to probably League 2 as quick as we can. And the promotion pyramid is the National 3 to the National 2. The National 2 goes to the Championnat National, which is the French 3rd Division. And as you can see, you actually start getting a little bit of prize money there. The 18th place is 33,000 euros. First place is 602,000 euros. After that, you go up to the Domino's League 2, which is actually where AJ Ajaccio is at the moment. And the prize money there is exactly the same as it is in the Championat. And then after that, it's up to the League 1 Conferama. And even then, the money there isn't all that great. You only get 17 million for finishing first in League 1. But it just goes to the power of the Premier League and its marketing. So that is what we're looking at. In between this episode and the next episode, there's going to be a decent amount of changes. I've got 3 fitness coaches. I don't know why. I really don't need 3 fitness coaches. I haven't gone past the first date here. It's the 11th of June. So the coaches and stuff like that I don't want to keep, I can definitely get rid of. I can hire some in to cover some things. But for at least the foreseeable future, this is going to be a bare bones operation. And I'm going to end up doing a lot of tracking on my own, which part of me doesn't mind. I've got a couple tools I've found and a spreadsheet I've developed to kind of help me with that. I'll share those in future episodes. But, you know, at one point in time, Bastia was near the top of League 1, and we're going to get them back there. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM19, and I thank you for following me along in this return to glory.